Artificial intelligence in the 90s? Do you remember Clippy? Today, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we think of impressive things. Assistants that write texts, create images, answer questions, and even program. But many people don't know that, more than 30 years ago, Microsoft was already trying to put something similar inside the computers of millions of people. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't as intelligent as it is today. But it was a clear attempt to create a digital assistant within the software. And he had a name that many people still remember. Clippy. To understand this story, we need to go back to the 90s. Back then, programs like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint were already part of the Microsoft Office suite, which dominated personal computers. Millions of people used these programs to write documents, create spreadsheets, and prepare presentations. But there was a problem. For many people, using this software was still complicated. Complex menus, hidden functions, tools that are difficult to find. So Microsoft had a curious idea: what if the computer could help the user automatically? That's how Office Assistant was born, an animated assistant that appeared on the screen to offer help. The most famous character in this system was a small paperclip with eyes and eyebrows, called Clippy. If you started writing a letter in Word, it would display a classic message: "It looks like you're writing a letter. Do you need help?" The idea was simple. The program attempted to interpret what the user was doing and automatically suggest help. Something that seems commonplace today, but at the time was a bold attempt to create software that understood human behavior. Behind that cute clip was something called a behavior-based interface. The system analyzed simple patterns. For example, if you typed "Dear" or "Prezado," if you started a document with a typical letter format, or if you were searching for certain functions. The assistant would appear offering ready-made templates, tips, or shortcuts. It wasn't artificial intelligence as we know it today. But it was a primitive form of adaptive software. Interestingly, Clippy wasn't the only one. The Office had several animated assistants. Among them, a dog, a genie in a lamp, a robot, even a cat. But none became as famous or as hated as Clippy. Despite his good intentions, the assistant had a problem. He showed up at the wrong time, all the time. You were focused on writing, and suddenly, it looks like you're doing this. For many users, it was more annoying than helpful. Memes started to appear. Jokes about the clip spread across the internet. And Clippy ended up becoming one of the most famous and most criticized characters in the history of the software. Over time, Microsoft realized that users preferred help when they asked for it, not when the program interrupted them. In 2001, with new versions of Office, the assistant began to disappear. And in Microsoft Office XP, Clippy was officially retired. But here's the interesting part. The idea behind Clippy was exactly the same as what we see today. Software that understands what you're doing, anticipates your needs, and helps automatically. Today this exists in systems like Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT, and other AI-based assistants. In other words, Clippy wasn't exactly a mistake. It was simply an idea ahead of its time. Perhaps the little paperclip wasn't perfect. Perhaps it was too noticeable. Perhaps it annoyed millions of users. But, looking back, it represented something important, one of the first attempts to transform ordinary software into software that helps, understands, and interacts with people. In other words, long before artificial intelligence took over the world, there was already a little paperclip trying to do just that inside Word. And now I want to know from you, do you remember Clippy? Or are you from the generation that never got to know him? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoy curious stories about technology, subscribe to the channel. Did you enjoy this video and content? Then thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing it with your friends. Also, post the link to this video on your Facebook and Instagram stories. Copy it to your WhatsApp status. This will encourage the growth of this channel and is completely free for you. Consider also subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much for your participation. May God bless your life in Christ Jesus.